time of year again. It is back to school season. Well, today is going to be a back to school video, and I'm going to be giving you guys a little back to school supplies haul. And I'm also going to be giving you some back to school glow up tips. And then finally, I'm going to be giving you some back to school, just like overall, like just tips to do well in this school year. So let's start off with the haul.
I just want you to know that you're amazing. That you're amazing.
I am actually going to be taking a class on, well, this basically school year. I'm going to be taking a class, or this semester. And it's after a long time of not being in school. So these are the notebooks that I got from Staples. So this is the first one. This is a 5-star college ruled, and it is recycled. It's made of recycled materials. So it has like the pretty trees on the front, and it's pretty much just a basic, let's show you the inside of the page, college ruled notebook. That's what it's like. So I'm going to be using this, and I also got some other pretty colors. So this is the Staples Axle One Subject Notebook. So it came in different colors, and so I chose different colors for it. It's just, you know, the basic one subject college ruled. They had like multiple subjects notebooks, but I chose to get separate subject notebooks. I did that because I needed like 4 different notebooks, and I didn't want to get 3, I didn't want to get 5, so I just got 4 separate ones. I guess that's my reasoning. So I have it in this pretty purple color. I also have it in pink, and I also have it in this blue kind of periwinkle color. It looks more blue in the camera, but it is basically blue. It gives off a little bit of a periwinkle to me though. And so these are the colors, and it looks so cute. And I just wanted to have like pretty colors for, you know, just being motivated to like open it and write in it and study and everything like that. Then I just got pens and pencils. So it was like a sale, so like they had like the different things on sale. So I got this pack of mechanical pencils. This is the big pencil, the extra smooth. And so you can see that. And I felt like the colors of the pencils kind of matched like the color of the notebooks, so you can kind of see how it kind of matches a little bit with some of the colors. So that's why I picked this. I wanted like something a little smaller, but like they didn't really have a smaller size. So like, you know what, I might as well just get the big pack of them and just use it for, you know, the whole year. And then I got these pens. This is the Sharpie Pen S Gel, and so this is black gel ink, and it comes with 4 of them, and I just like that they're white pens. I kind of just like the white color of them. And that's pretty much all I got. So altogether this was $40 because the planner was $10, and then everything I got from Staples added up to $30. So $40 for my little back to school haul. So it was really kind of just getting the essentials that I need. And like I said, since I'm taking the class online, I don't need like a whole lot. I think if I was taking classes in person, I would probably need more things, but this for me suffices. And I also still have my calculator from when I was in school, so there's that too. So I already have some kind of things, you know. They did have white out there. I didn't buy more because I do have one that I'm still using right now. It was a pack of 2, and I'm like on the last one. So I was like, you know what, let me just finish that before I buy more. So yeah, it's a pretty simple haul, but you know, you still want to make sure you have your notebooks for your notes and things to write with, so that's important. And then planning just to organize your day. So now let me get into the back to school glow up tips.
That you're amazing. That you're amazing.
So, you know, kind of just like going back to school, you know, it's kind of like a fresh start. And so you want to just kind of do things that kind of get you motivated, things that, you know, get you just like in a good space to start off, you know, something new. And so mindset is really important. And I just want to like let you guys know that, you know, you want to go into it with intention. And I think like something that I've been doing is like I've already come into it knowing that, you know, I'm expecting to do well. I'm going to get an A in this class. I'm going to do well in this class. I'm going to succeed. I'm going to excel. I'm going to do great. And then you also have to think about, okay, so it may not even be, it could be like, yes, like you want to do well in this class, but it could also be, I want to be confident. I want to, make friends, and I want to have a great social um, social time during the school year. Or it could be I want to, get involved in activities and things like that. Or it could be, I just want to have good mental health while I'm in school. And I want to, just be able to manage my time well and manage my schedule well, so that I'm at my best, and I want to take care of my health while I'm in school. I want to make sure that, I'm still, eating healthy, and I'm still, staying hydrated and getting enough sleep and things like that. So you can have a lot of different goals, and it's good to have goals. It's important to have goals. But I think you have to, for you to go from having these goals to actually executing them and achieving those goals, you really have to think about what that looks like for you. So you can say, yeah, I'm going to get an A in this class. What does a person that gets an A in this class do? How does the person that gets an A in this class think? What does a person that has a great friend group do? Like, how do they, maintain these friendships? How do they, make new friends? Um, what does this person that is, involved in all of these activities, how do they manage their time? What do they prioritize so that they can make time for these activities? You know, how do they, separate, their own life and their own like stresses so that they can be fully present and in the moment when it comes to these activities and things they're involved in. And then when it comes to your health, if you are someone that is not only doing well academically but also taking care of your health, what habits do you have in place? Are you filling up your water bottle? Are you setting an alarm for you to go to bed or for you to wake up? Are you scheduling time to take a walk or go to the gym, or, whatever that looks like for you? So, you have to really think about the actions that will help you to achieve those goals. And so, I know there's different, methods and things like that when it comes to, planning goals and things like that. I know like the SMART method is really popular. But I think that just even asking yourself that question, like, what does it look like for me to achieve this goal? What does it look like for me to walk in this goal? And how do I, as a person that accomplishes this, what does my daily life look like? What do my habits look like? What do my actions look like? And you can kind of plan from there. You can kind of work around things from there, if that makes sense. So we talked about mindset, we talked about goals. We're going to crush it this year. So now let's talk about like, self-care and things like that. I think also, if this is a new school year for you, and let's say you had a previous school year, think about what works for you. What did you do well? Like, what works for you in the previous school year? And whatever works for you, see how you can really add to that or incorporate that into this school year. What were the things that you felt like didn't work for you? What were the things that you felt like kind of set you back? And how can you, make sure that this school year that these things don't set you back? Just an example. Let's say you were just struggling with procrastinating. Um, how can you make sure that this school year procrastination does not stop you from achieving your goals? And you have to think about, like, what does a person that doesn't procrastinate do? They take action and they prioritize and they do the most important tasks and the hardest tasks, They do the things that they don't want to do, and they recognize that discipline is a form of self-respect, you know? So it's things like that. It's time, it's mindset, it's reflection, but it's also self-care. So let's talk about self-care. What I'm doing leading up to this, school year, I'm really trying to organize and plan the best I can, because I've realized that, giving yourself, let's say, an hour to plan out your week can really set you up for, success going into the week. Take that time to plan and organize. Take that time to declutter as well. I think that when you have, a decluttered space, it can really just give you that clarity, that mental clarity. So if you have a desk that you work at, to study, make sure that that desk is organized and clean and clear. If you study in your room, make sure that your room isn't cluttered. Things like that. So just decluttering and cleaning things up and just getting organized the best you can, so that you can kind of have a good start to the school year. And so another thing that I am doing is skincare. So before, I'd say probably like a month or two ago, I was not consistent in my skincare routine, but I started getting consistent and I really noticed a difference. I was having quite a bit of breakouts before, but once I started being consistent in my skincare routine, things really started to clear up on my skin, and I had some acne dark marks and they've been fading. So definitely, focus on your skincare if you can before school starts, or even after school starts. You can give yourself like a DIY, facial. And that's something that I've done. So I can also, if you're interested, I can do videos on that, on my DIY facial and also my skincare routine. So let me know if you want me to do that. Give it a thumbs up or comment down below if you want to see that. But definitely skincare is important. And then even body care, the skin on your body, exfoliating and, keeping your skin hydrated. And I know, like, right now, at least where I am, it's pretty warm still, so I'm right now mostly doing light oils and things like that, not really super heavy body butters or things like that, but just still keeping your skin hydrated, and also drinking water, because that's going to hydrate you as well. Drinking as much water as you can, keeping water with you, if you're allowed to bring water around, like keeping water with you so that you stay hydrated. And then I think another thing is, like going along the lines of planning. Like if you can plan your meals, like that can really help, because during the week when you're really busy and you have all these classes, you have all the studying you have to do, sometimes it can be hard to find time to really like sit and prepare a meal. And so if you have something prepared in advance, it can help you, so you're not grabbing things that may not be the healthiest, or you're just like not even eating the way that you should, or eating at all, so just having something in advance, like healthy snacks and, meals that are nourishing for your body, that can help you in, doing well in the school year. Another thing when it comes to self-care is taking time, just to have time outside of studying, So, for me, like, I have really prioritized, like, having an hour in the day just for like a lunch break, essentially. I call it a lunch break, but it's really a time where I just am not doing any type of work. I'm either taking a short nap, or I'm journaling, or I'm eating something, or I'm just sitting outside. And just having that intentional time, it really just refreshes me to continue on in the day. So maybe you don't have an hour, but just having a set, couple minutes just to really just recharge and refresh, I think, like, even back when I was working before, like, we had, like, for me, like, I just found a 30-minute break to be too short, which I know, like, I don't know if I'm, like, over exaggerating when I say that, but just for me personally, I just feel like I need an hour break, so I give myself that. So if you're able to do something like that, it doesn't necessarily have to be like during lunchtime, but just take breaks, just take time to just kind of relax and refresh and recharge. And another thing is sleep, because when you sleep, it helps your mind process everything that you've been learning. So make sure that you're taking time to rest and get some sleep. And work on your nighttime routine. Like, try to have a nighttime routine set in advance so that you then have a cutoff time for when you're going to stop studying in the evenings. I think that's also really important, because sometimes you can just get into study mode and you're like staying up, and every so often that's okay, but you don't want to be doing that like consistently, and then your sleep is being compromised as a result. So having a set time where you are studying, having a set time where this is the end of the study day and I'm going to have my nighttime routine and I'm gonna relax and regroup and recharge and things like that. I would say also, if you do wear makeup, try to have a everyday makeup look that's simple, that you can easily do, and so when you're getting ready in the morning, it's not taking you super long and things like that. It's something that you're comfortable with, something that you're familiar with, and it's going to be quick and easy. You can still look put together and things like that. And also hairstyles, just having maybe 1, 2, or 3 signature hairstyles that frame your face well, hairstyles that you can easily do, that don't take super long, or hairstyles that you just feel confident in, that you can just do when you're having to go to school. And I would say another thing is, if you want, you can also plan out your outfits. Maybe have some outfits for the week that you might want to wear. And so that can also help in just reducing the time of just you not having to make so many decisions in the moment, because you're already having to use your minds for all of your studying and things like that.
He sent his son as a sacrifice for you, 'cause you're amazing.
And so I asked Britt for just her back to school tips, and so I'm going to be sharing the tips that she gave me, and I feel like these are honestly really good tips. So the first tip is to focus on your long-term goals, because I know that sometimes we can just have goals that are like just focusing on your friends or focusing on just having fun, but when you're in school, there's kind of ideally usually like you have some sort of long-term goals that you want to achieve through it. And so just focusing on not only your goals for this school year, but thinking about how this school year can shape your future and your long-term goals, and having those long-term goals in mind, having the end in mind. And so the next tip is to do things because you want to do them. So this can apply for like even like the path that you want to go on, or also just trends and things like that, like peer pressure. Like, if there's something that you want to do, then you should do it because you want to do it, not because you're feeling pressured to do it, not because you're feeling forced to do it. You want to just do something because it's something that you want to do, something that you really feel like is stirring to do. And so yeah, just being confident in what you just being confident in you being able to make your own choices. And so the next tip is, if you are involved in like clubs or extracurricular activities, just try to do one thing at a time, because it can be easy to kind of get overwhelmed. It can get overwhelming sometimes if you are, involved in too much, or if you just kind of put too much of yourself into so many different things. So it's important to just, try to do one thing at a time, the best you can, so that whatever you are putting your time into, that you're able to really fully be present in it and, present your best self in that. So just knowing that the first 5 weeks of the semester, or whatever classes you're taking, are really important in how your semester goes. And so just being mindful of that, like the first 5 weeks are going to be really important. So that's the time where you really want to just buckle down and stay focused. And the final tip is, if you have been given like a syllabus or like an outline of like your exams and the dates of when these big projects and exams are going to be, you want to set up a study plan in advance for that, so that you are prepared and it's not catching you off guard and you're not having to cram for those things. So just being mindful of that and keeping those dates in mind and being able to prepare for them. So that is it for this video. I hope that these tips helped you. I hope you enjoyed the haul, and I hope that if you are in school that you have a great school year. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.
You